So vulnerability is an interesting word. It usually has quite negative connotations. We associate someone vulnerable with someone weak or someone who needs help. When it comes to speaking and communicating, vulnerability for us means allowing yourself to be yourself, allowing you to be you, no matter who you're speaking in front of. Usually, depending in the rooms that we're in, we'll kind of change. We'll put on a mask. I'm sure because of COVID, we all hate masks. They're really annoying. They hurt your ears, you can't breathe properly, but we wear invisible masks where we hide our true self. Our job is to help you remove that mask so that you can authentically be you no matter who you're speaking in front of. That is true confidence. But it takes courage to be seen, which is why we do exercises to help you embrace vulnerability. In this self-improvement space, often people are taught, fake it till you make it. The problem with that advice is that if you're faking it, you're never truly embracing the situation. You're never truly working on the problem. You're just putting on an act, and then next time you still need to put on that act. Now, people may perceive you to be confident, but on the inside, you know that you're not, and you're putting on an act. What we believe instead is you should embrace it until it improves. Which means if you're feeling really nervous before a presentation, rather than pretending you're not, embrace it and think, whoa, I feel quite nervous right now. What can I do now and next time to reduce this anxiety? So you actually work on the problem rather than sweep it under the rug. The biggest problem that we've come across is that people tend to weaponize nerves and anxiety. We treat nerves and anxiety as a sign of danger. Every time we get nervous, we think, this is not going to go too well. But we need to change our relationship with nerves because nerves are a normal biological experience that we will go through. What we should do is prepare for them. So we should treat nerves like cold weather. If it was to freeze, if it was to snow tomorrow, before we left our house, we would prepare. Put on your heaviest jacket, scarf and gloves. And by the time you leave your house, you'd still be a bit cold because it's freezing. But because you prepared, it's not too bad. Same with public speaking. If you've got a meeting, a presentation, you know you're going to get nervous. So rather than wishing it doesn't happen, it's important to prepare for the nerves beforehand. Learn exercises like diaphragmatic breathing that can help reduce your anxiety. Direct your mind in the right place rather than, are they going to like me? Do they understand my message? And the aim of today's class is to give you the right tools so you can prepare for those nerves, because they will never actually go away. Unfortunately, I wish you could actually eradicate them. We can't. But we can learn how to manage them. Okay, really important. And we do that via our vulnerability-based exercises, one of which we will do today. Okay. Now, the psychology behind what we do is based on the CHIP model, and I'll give you a quick overview. There are 3 systems in our brains, and we need to use all 3 systems to be good, confident speakers. Usually, we use some systems more than others. So the first system is the computer system. This is where your intuition lies. The computer system is the system you use when you're driving home from work. Not much thinking. You've done it a million times. You're thinking about anything but driving. And you get to your driveway, you think, I'm home already. This is the system that you use when you walk the dog to the park. You've done that walk a million times. Not much thinking. Now, the second system is the human system. This is where your logic lies. This is the system we use when we are creating content and we want it to make perfect sense. This is the system that we use when we're speaking in front of people and we are overthinking. And the third system is the chimp. Now, this is your emotional system, and this is the guy that tells you, you don't need to stand in front of people, no one cares for you, you don't deserve to be there. Now, each system has its benefits, but the overuse of them can be detrimental. So for example, you want your speech to be emotional and not sound boring. You want to add some emotion into it and have some tone, but you don't want to overthink and you don't want to be too emotional and think people are judging you. Number 2, you want your speech to make sense, but often we're too bogged down on the statistics and what we're going to say that we forget about how we're going to say it. Because you can have the best speech with the best stats, but if it sounds boring, no one's going to take it in. And also, it's important that we do public speaking enough times that we download that software so you can do it without thinking too much. I often associate public speaking to driving. When you first start, there are many things to think about. Indicating, going into first gear, looking at each mirror, looking at the pedestrians. It is a lot. But eventually, over time, you think less. And after a few years, a few months, you can drive without even thinking. Exact same thing in public speaking. The system that we use less when we struggle with speaking is our intuition. This is where our true confidence lies. This is where 3-year-olds are. You hardly see any shy 2-year-olds because they're running around, they don't care, trusting their intuition. And as we get older, life bruises us and we forget what it's like. So during the next exercise, I want to try and reignite the computer system, which is something that you are going to need when speaking. Because a large part of this is intuitive, and it's really trusting yourself to be able to deliver a message. So the next exercise we're going to